everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure to check out my Instagram listed down below. I post some really fun reels over there with some cool tips, tricks, and hacks. We also post some fun little polls in the stories as well as some different crafts that I don't do here on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. Today we are going to be using some Teckwrap Craft color changing HTV. We have some UV color changing and some temperature color changing on this shirt, and it's so fun. This is a really cool product. It's great to use. It's super easy to work with, and I really think it's a cool thing that you can use in the summertime. This would be great for like a beach cover-up, a blanket, anything like that, and I made this fun t-shirt using the design from crafty.net. So let's get started. I cannot wait to show you how cool this is.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
We are going to use a design from crafty.net. This is Mr. Crafty Pants' website. You can grab a subscription to this. I'll link it down below for you. But this is a really cute one that we're going to do with some color changing vinyl, which is really fun. It's color changing HTV. So there's one cool thing that I really love is that you can click this download button, but you can actually change how you download it. So you don't have to download every file. We're just going to download the SVG. Click download and it's going to open up our folder and ask us where we want to save it. So I'm going to save it to my desktop, to my Cricut folder, and then I have a folder that's just for like specific summer designs. So I'm going to call this a summer design and click save. Then all we have to do is go over to Cricut Design Space. Over in Design Space, click upload, and then this might have changed for you. It definitely changed for me. So all you have to do is click upload image. It's more to the left side now. And then you can either browse for your folder or drag and drop the image, but I'm going to browse for it this time because I didn't do like an unzipping. So I'm just going to go into my summer folder, find that summer sunset SVG, and it's going to load perfectly. Nothing special you have to do. Now I do like to change the names just so that it's a little bit easier for me to find them and so I know where they come from. Then all you need to do is click upload and give it 1 second to load it into your uploads. Select that recent upload and add it to the canvas. Now that it's loaded into the design space, all we need to do is select the entire design and we can resize it. So depending on how large your shirt is, I'm doing this on an adult large. So you should go about 9.5 or so, maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. It just depends kind of on how tall the design is as well. So I think this looks pretty good. These are super easy files to work with. You don't have to do a lot with them. But remember, because we're using HTV, we do need to make sure that we mirror our design. So what I'm going to do is choose the flip option right here, and I'm going to flip it horizontal. That's going to mirror it on my canvas so that I don't have to try to mirror it when I go to click make it. Now, before we do anything, we're going to use totally different colors for this. So I do like to kind of change the colors. That way I can remember what color I want to make something. So what I'm going to do is select each item over here in my layers panel and then change it to about the color of the HTV that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use a purple non-color changing vinyl HTV for the bottom where it says sunshine. Then for this smaller part here, right above the purple, we're going to use like a really pretty light blue. Then for this orange-ish color, I'm going to use kind of I would call it yellow. It's kind of yellowy. Then this one is going to be a greenish color. Then this one is going to be a pink. And then the very, very top here is going to be a different shade of green. Now it looks kind of ugly here, but that's because I didn't make the colors exactly what they look like on the HTV here. But this will help us cut it and make sure that we cut the correct color for the correct section. Now again, we've mirrored it, so we are ready to go. All you simply have to do from here is click make it, and it's going to bring up the screen to select your cut settings and all of that, and it'll show you all of your different mats. So I just like to just double check my mats, make sure everything looks good, make sure everything looks like it is, you know, on the correct spot, things like that, because I don't trust Design Space. So it looks like everything is good to go on that. So what I'm going to do now is click continue, and this is where you'll choose your cut setting. Now for this particular HTV from Teckwrap, this is their UV color changing. This cut best for me on the everyday iron-on setting with more pressure. Now you'll see here that it does tell me to make sure mirror is turned on. we just skipped that step because we flipped it on our mat rather than mirroring it here on our Make It screen. I find for me that works better. It gives me less of a chance of Cricut Design Space messing something up. And I also find that I sometimes forget. So it's a lot easier if I just do it before I cut my material over here. Now, all we simply have to do is go load the machine, get everything cut out, and then I'll show you guys how to press it. We're going to start with this pretty pink color. So with all of their HTV, it's going to be the carrier sheet side down. Now, in this case, most of these are going to have the white backing to help keep this color bright and true on dark colored shirts. So keep that in mind. But what you're going to do is put the carrier sheet side down onto your mat. I'm going to line it up with the top and then press it down. Now, I didn't do a great job getting that straight, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. I leave my vinyl on the roll and then I just insert this into my machine and I just leave the roll down at the end of the mat. That way I don't have to unroll the whole thing or anything like that. And then usually I'll just kind of let it sit and it'll pull the mat in, push it back out, and then I'll usually just kind of roll it back up. So we'll let this get everything cut out, we'll get everything weeded, and then I'll show you guys how to apply. So I'm going to use this shirt that I bleached last year. It bleached not the color I was hoping for because this shirt's a little bit different. This is a Gildan Soft Style, but I don't remember exactly which one. But this is 10% polyester, 90% cotton. So typically these shirts are going to bleach a little bit different, but I didn't use a ton of bleach, so it worked really good. So what I want to do is I'm going to dry fit this on here, just to see where I need it to sit. And I do want to start with the word sunshine because I feel like starting with the word is going to be the easiest portion to start with. That way I can line everything up based on the lettering versus trying to line it up afterwards. So I've got that upside down, don't I? Yes. Okay. So this is actually the next one up. So I want to start with our light blue, which is our first one up. And I want to get it lined up. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is just kind of getting an idea of where the sunshine needs to sit on the shirt. I'm not sure if that's exactly where it needs to go. That's why I like doing a dry fit of this before I press anything so I can kind of get an idea of like where everything needs to sit. So now we're going to do this kind of greeny color. And you can see I'm working my way up from the words. So again, this doesn't have to be perfect right now. We'll get it perfect when we line it up on the shirt to be pressed. But this is just to get an idea of how high up we need to put the word sunshine so we can get started. And honestly, it looks pretty good. Oops, that was not even close. I want to at least get it somewhat close to where it needs to be. So I usually go about 2 to 3 fingers down from the collar. I want to just move this down a little bit. I don't want to go too much further than what I had it. And then I want to make sure that it's centered and that it's straight. So I just sort of use this, and you can actually see it changing a little bit of color right here from the warmth of my finger. Isn't that cool that that changes color with heat? I think this one's really neat. So this one's a little bit different than the others. This one changes color with heat. These ones change color with the sun. You'll see that as I rub it, it doesn't change color, but this one does. So it's very fun. This is going to be a really cool shirt. So this looks pretty centered to me. I think we're feeling centered. Are we? Maybe not. I might need to move it over a little bit. I like to just sort of eyeball, but I think it needs to go this way a little. I feel like the E is too far that direction. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel this back up. And I'm just going to move it over. It's hard to do these sometimes when you have the bleach spot because the bleach spot's not centered. So I usually will use like the collar, and then I kind of just look at it like this. All right, that looks better. That looks much better. Okay, we're good. That looks good. I think I want to maybe, do I want to move it up a little? I kind of do. I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Not a ton. Just a bit. And then I want to move it over a little. All right, that looks good. Perfect. Okay, I'm happy with that. So Teckwrap includes a little listing of their different materials and their thickness, what blades you should cut them on, and the temperatures, times, and how to peel. All of this vinyl is, or this HTV is cold peel. Now they don't necessarily list color change, but I'm going to say that color change is probably pretty close to like the thickness of, I would say, probably close to the thickness of the glow in the dark, and that says 284 for 12 seconds. So I'm gonna go get my heat press turned on, get it ready. What we'll do is, what we're gonna do is peel off these other layers, keeping the sunshine down where we want it. Now I will say I love how sticky these carrier sheets are. It makes it a little tougher to weed them, but once they're on the shirt, they don't move around a lot, which I think is super awesome and super important. So I'm gonna go ahead and get our heat press set up, and then we can press this. So we're ready to press. Now you can already see it's changing color from the warmth of the heat press. But because we're layering, we're just going to press these for probably just a couple of seconds. It doesn't really tell me what pressure, so I have it kind of on a medium firm. So I'm going to do about 5 seconds. Now again, you'll see that it's changed color from the heat. Remember, these are cool peel, so what I like to do is I'll take like the bottom of my shirt, which is cold from not being on the press, and I'll just kind of put it on top and rub it around a little bit just to cool it down. Those cooling blocks really are very much a gimmick because you can use anything like a glass or a piece of marble that you can get at a Home Depot. I've also been known to use a cold candle. You can do that as well. You just need something that will kind of grab the heat, but you really don't even need to do this. Just kind of an extra step that you can do, but you don't have to. So I'm going to go ahead and just sort of cool it down. Again, I'm just using the shirt to cool it down because the shirt will pull some of that warm like temperature into the cooler parts. So let's see if we can get this to come off yet. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go slow because this is a really sticky carrier sheet, and since I didn't do a full press, I just want to make sure that I take my time and pull this off really careful. And we'll have to do that with each layer because we want to make sure that nothing lifts when we're doing this. But again, this is a super sticky carrier sheet, which can come in handy. So I'm going to go ahead and keep peeling. Looks like everything's stuck down just fine, so that's good. I always worry when you do layering, you just never quite know for sure. So I'll go ahead and get that all nice and flattened back out. And then we can press our next layer, which is our light blue. So this is going to take a little while to get done because this is quite a few layers and we have to let it cool. So what I'm going to do, and I will say it definitely shrunk. So that's one thing to be aware of, is that it can shrink. So if something like that happens, like you can see this is not lining up at all anymore, what you can do is trim your HTV a bit so that it will fit. So those two fit fine. So we'll take these two parts and put these two together. That's over a little too far. That looks better. And then we can do this section by itself. So that'll happen from time to time. It might shrink a little, but you just kind of work with it and do things where you just move stuff around a bit. And I just want to move that. All right, that looks good. So again, we'll just press this for a few seconds. Let it get stuck down, and then we will finish the rest of our design. This is our last layer, so we're going to do the full press for this layer. I will say that I noticed that peeling it hot worked fine, so I would say with this type of HTV, which is the color change, peel it hot. It's fine. It doesn't do any harm. I'm pressing at 302. I'm letting it press for 10 seconds, and as you can see, it comes off just perfectly fine. So I wouldn't worry about cold peeling this. I think you can definitely do a warm peel. I'm gonna let this cool down and move it over to the table and we can take a look at it. Here is our finished shirt. Now again, this one is color change on like heat. So I put my finger on it, it'll change color. I can rub it a little bit too to show you, but that'll change color. So as you wear it, you'll end up with that changing color. But these other parts are UV color change, and it's still kind of wintry here, so we don't have the sun, but I have a UV flashlight that I can use to kind of show you just how the colors will change. Check that out. Look at how dark that color is. So fun, and it's going to change color. Now the blue is a little bit harder to see the color change because it's called a dusty blue, so it just gets a little bit of a darker blue color to it, but these other ones change color a lot. Like you'll see, I'll just try to do like half of it so you can kind of see how it changes. But is that not really cool? It's so fun. Kids will get a kick out of these. Heck, adults will get a kick out of this. So I just think this is such a fun shirt. Really cool. I love the color change. This is going to be great for summertime. This would be really fun on like a beach cover up, something like that where it's going to get a lot of sun and heat. And again, this just changes with the warmth. So as you see, if I put my hands on it, it'll kind of warm up. My hands are pretty cold, but you can see here, if I rub it, it changes color. So it's really fun. I think this is going to be a cool shirt. Teckwrap makes a really awesome HTV. I really like this product. Again, I loved how sticky the carrier sheet was. It weeded beautifully. It was super easy to use, and the color change is so fun. You can see it changes really well. It's really pretty. And again, super fun. Don't forget, on their website, you can use code Corinne10 to save 10% on any of your purchases over there. If you guys want to check out their website, I will link it down below for you as well, so you can easily find what you're looking for. If you shop through the LA warehouse, if you are in the United States, they do free shipping on orders over $35. If you shop the regular website, you will need to spend $100 for free shipping because those do come international. So I always recommend check out the LA warehouse. That way you're going to get a little bit cheaper shipping. You can get all of these products at the LA warehouse as well. I will link each individual thing that I used, so if you guys want to make this exact same shirt, you can. If you have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. That way you don't miss out on any of the crafty content we have here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and as always, happy crafting.